I walk in, and the room already knows. Before a word is spoken, before the moment shows, something shifts in the air, something changes on the weight. I walk in, and the room already knows that I don't wait. And the conversation drops, not from fear, but from the particular kind of full stop that a certain kind of man places in a room by arriving. I walk in, and the room already knows I've been surviving. Every winter, every fire, every hard year on the bone, the sense that everything I've been through walks in with me. I walk in, and the room already knows, and the room lets me be. They used to look right through me in the early rooms I entered, when the coat was cheaper, when the purpose wasn't centered in the particular way that the years eventually center it. When the softness is still visible before the fire has entered it. I remember those rooms, the ones that didn't register, the ones that kept their warmth on the wrong side of the register. For the man I was becoming, who hadn't yet become it visibly, but was becoming it in private, in the work done indivisibly. From the man I said I'd be in the morning of every year, now I walk into the room, and the room knows I'm here. I walk in, and the room already knows, the way a cold wind knows before it blows. To enter, I walk in, and the room already knows I'm the center, not for the attention of the gravity. I walk in, and the room already knows a caveat, that the quiet man at the table is the one with the plan. I walk in, and the room already knows I am that man. Walks in before me, the way a reputation does, when the years have built enough of it to arrive ahead. Because the people in the room have felt it through the network of every room before this, where the same man did the same work of arriving and taking only what was actually his, and leaving everything untouched that wasn't part of his business. They know the nature of the man who takes only what's owed, who arrives with full intention, and who leaves a settled road behind him when he exits. Not a thread of unfinished, not a loose end in the building, not a promise that diminished into less than what was given. He arrives, he takes his seat, he closes what is open, and makes the legend neat. I walk in, and the room already knows this isn't arrogance, it's what discipline shows. After years of being exactly what you said, I walk in, and the room already knows what I've led. Every year with the same intention and the same delivery of the promise made in private. reason. I walk in, and the room already knows the reason. I walk in, and the room already knows. Already knows, already knows. And the room already knows. Before a word, before a move, before the door fully shows the man behind it, the room already feels a shift. I walk in, and the room already knows the gift of the man who always delivers, the weight of the man who never promised what he couldn't create. I walk in, room already knows. I walk in, room goes quiet, Lord already knows it. I walk in, yeah, I walk in, Ooh, the room goes quiet. Built from nothing, told nobody, no announcement and no partner, and no somebody to witness the beginning and the years of the making. Built from nothing, told nobody, the only deal I'm taking. Built from nothing, told nobody the plan. Just a man and the work in the particular hand he was dealt and chose to play without complaint. Built from nothing, told nobody, no patron, no saint, no borrowed credibility, no handed over start. Built from nothing, told nobody, built it from the heart. I started in a room that had nothing in it but me, and the particular idea what the man could be if he worked it, if he held it, if he showed up before the sun and stayed until the job was done, and then came back tomorrow with the same exact intention, and held it through the seasons with the same exact attention. He gave to it the first morning, he gave to it the last, not because the inspiration held, but because the past had taught him that the inspiration isn't the building material. The building material is the showing up, the daily and the serial repetition of the work until the work compounds into something no one can dismiss, into something that astounds the room that wasn't watching while it was being made. Built from nothing, told nobody, not afraid. Built from nothing, told nobody, no validation and no cheerleader beside me, no committee and no blessing from the established, and the name built from nothing, told nobody. And I claimed everything I built with both my hands. Built from nothing, told nobody the plans, just the morning and the work and the slow compounding year. Built from nothing, told nobody, and the proof is here. By order of the man who had no order to start from, who drew the map himself from a position at the dark end of the available, the end where nothing's given, the end where every inch is earned, the end where men are driven not by comfort or by safety, but by the particular fire of the man who has no backup, who has nothing but desire and discipline, and the morning and the cold and the long road. He walked it without a guide, he walked it with his load, and what arrived at the end of every long and private year was more than what was promised, because nothing was promised here. He promised only to himself in the rooms where no one saw. He promised to the work itself, and the work became the law. Built from nothing, told nobody the cost. Every year a private building, every night a private loss. thank every hard time for the man it gave me. Every cold, every closed door, every year that tried to break me. Every rejection, every lonely road, every hard night. I thank every hard time for the man it gave me, for the light. I thank every hard time for the bone it laid. Every difficult year was a contribution to the trade of the soft and the uncertain, for the permanent and real. I thank every hard time for the man it gave me, for the feel of being exactly this and nothing borrowed. I thank every hard time, not with sorrow, with the full and honest gratitude of a man who understands the hard times were the making. The hard times were the hands. I thank the house I grew up in, the cold one and the loud, the one that taught me early how to carry in a crowd, of one how to be sufficient for the version of yourself that has nobody handing the important things off a shelf. I thank the school years and the table that said no. I thank the lunch alone for teaching me to go inside, for the company that I couldn't find outside. I thank the lunch alone for teaching me to ride the particular quiet of my own particular mind, for teaching me that quiet was not the falling behind, but the getting further into the actual and the honest. I thank the table that refused me for the company the loneliest hours gave me in return, which was the man inside completely, who has been my most reliable companion, ever after, ever neatly, available at every hour, available in every room, the company of self that the lonely years gave room. Every hard time was a teacher who didn't ask for gratitude, but received it in the making of the man with the right attitude toward the difficulty, which is not the performance of the grateful or the stoic, but the actual accordance, but the truth that hard times produce what easy years cannot, which is the permanent and earned and the actual and the bought, with the only currency that buys the lasting things, which is the actual experience of what the hard time brings. I thank every hard time for the bone it built, every year of pressure lifted, every ounce of guilt of being exactly this and only this in my. I thank every hard time for the man it gave me, for the spine. I thank the woman who left in the worst year, who chose the timing of her leaving to be clear about the nature of the ground I had been building on, which was not the solid kind. I thank her for the gone she gave me in the season when the going was most sharp. I thank her for the teaching of the untuned harp of the trust that I had given to the face above the fact. I thank her for the lesson that I needed and that cracked the comfortable assumption that the face and the intention are the same thing in the same body. I thank her for the mention of everything thing I had to learn about the reading of the deeper signal underneath the surface. I thank her for the keeper of her own particular truth, which was not mine to hold. I thank her for the winter, I thank her for the cold. She taught me where the warmth was actually located, which was in the work and in the practice and in the man who waited through the winter on his own with the morning and the dark. I thank her for the winter, I thank her for the spark it lit inside the chest that the comfort would have smothered. I thank her for the year of cold from which the man recovered into something that comfort would never have allowed. I thank her for the winter, unashamed and loud. Gratitude for hard times is not the performance of a hero. It is the honest recognition that the womb was the field where the permanent is planted, where the lasting took its root, where everything the easy years could never give their fruit from the particular and difficult and specific cost of the hard times and the actual terrific price, which was worth every cent paid in the years of the pain. I thank every hard time for exactly what it was and what it seemed. I thank every hard time for the man it gave me, the childhood and the rejection in the years that tried to bury the version I was building in the cold and in the night. I thank every hard time for the man who gave me I am right here because of every single one of them. I thank every hard time, not in spite of them, because of them, because of everyone. Tonight I sit inside the sum of everything that cost me, and the sum is not a subtraction. The sum is everything the loss gave me in return for what it took, which was always less than what the loss predicted.
Nobody saw the hours that made me this. The 4 a.m. of every year I couldn't dismiss. The particular darker rooms I sat inside alone. Nobody saw the hours that made me this, that made me bone. Nobody saw the hours, nobody was there when the waiter arrived without an invitation or a chair to sit across from and discuss the shape of what it was. Nobody saw the hours that made me this, because they were mine and mine entirely, and the private and the real. Nobody saw the hours, but the hours made the steel. I was 12 the first time I learned what alone means, at its most complete expression in the space between the scenes of a family that had already started its quiet falling into separate silences, into separate callings, away from the center that a child needs to exist. I filled the center myself with everything that fit into the hours after school, when the house held only me and the particular freedom and the particular fee
of a child who has the hours, but no one in the hours with him. I filled them with the building of the interior system that would hold me in the years when no exterior was steady. I built it young and I built it early, and it has been ready for every subsequent test of the ground beneath my feet. I built the ground myself in the hours of the street that was empty in the evening of every school day, that sent me home to the house that had the walls, but that I walked through alone. I learned the house by heart in those hours of the filling. I learned the particular sound of a life that keeps on spilling its residents in different directions, long before the final separation that arrived when I was old enough to finally understand the word for what had been the atmosphere of every year I lived inside it, breathing the particular air of a house that held together only in the mornings for the performance of the family, for the school day warnings, and fell apart by evening into the separate rooms. I navigated between them in the particular glooms of a child who becomes fluent in the reading of the mood of every adult in the building before he has his food. The hours that made me were the hours after everyone had stopped performing in the house, into its honest silence dropped, and I was in it learning what the honest silence kept, what it knew about the people, what it said while they all slept. Nobody saw the hours that made me this, the long evenings of the alone, the particular abyss of the child who fills his own hours with the making. Nobody saw the hours, but the hours did the shaping. The hard times came in sequence like a syllabus designed for the man who needed everything the comfortable declined, to teach him in the easy and the warmly supervised years that other men remember as the years they first were prized by the warm and present people of a life that held them close. I was in the other classroom, learning from the most demanding kind of teacher, which is the one who isn't there, who teaches by their absence, who teaches by the bare fact of the room without them, the fact of the hours alone, the fact of the child building on the uncertain stone of a life that hadn't settled into any permanent shape. I learned to build on shifting ground. I learned to find escape, not from the difficulty, but into a deeper version of the self, that the difficulty was running its immersion program on the version that could hold the shifting ground without requiring it to still, without requiring it to be found stable before the building could proceed. I built while it was moving, I built while nothing held. I built with everything improving, only in the building, only in the doing of the work. I learned that ground is made by the man who doesn't shirk. Hard times don't announce their purpose in the arriving, they announce it in the leaving, in the man who is still thriving after the hard time lifted, changed in ways the easy years could never have produced, in the man who has no fears of the next hard time arriving, because he knows its purpose now. He knows the hard time is the making. He knows the hard time knows how. Nobody saw the hours, but the hours knew their work. They carved the man in the dark with every jerk of the ground beneath them, every season, every test. Nobody saw the hours, but the hours gave their best to the making of the man who arrived here carrying everything the hours built, everything the hours were prepared. Now the hours are mine in the way that earned things are, not given and not borrowed,
not a temporary star that someone else is holding in the direction of my path, but the permanent possession of the man who did the math. Of all the hours, all the building, all the private making years, and found nobody saw the hours, but the hours knew their work. They carved the man in the dark with every jerk of the ground beneath him. Every season, every test, nobody saw the hours. I was too young for the weight they gave me, too small for the silence that was supposed to save me. Too young to understand the shape of what I held. I was too young for the weight they gave me, and I still swelled. And to the man who carries it with both hands steady now, I was too young for the weight they gave me, but I learned how. Every year it made me something harder, something more. I was too young for the weight they gave me, but I bore. I watched adults around me breaking ways I didn't name. I was 9 years old and keeping score of who to blame. Not with paper, not with language, just a body keeping track of which room was the safer one and which one to hold back. From the full presence of a child who hadn't learned yet how to be invisible enough to stay in the room without a fee, charged against the softness that I couldn't yet control. I learned to keep the soft parts down below the cold. Of the surface that I showed to the rooms that weren't safe, I learned to show the surface and to keep the other place locked inside a chest that only opened in the night, when the house was finally quiet, when the adults weren't in flight from each other and from themselves and from the particular crash of their own unsolved equations that kept burning into ash. Everything around them, including the small child who was learning at the edge of their fire, being filed into a shape he didn't choose, into a posture he would carry long past the house that made it, long past the ordinary. The weight of adults break and lands on the child nearest to it. The child carries it unknowing how to lose it. He just integrates the weight into the structure of the growing and becomes the man who carries more than normal without showing. I was too young for the weight they gave me, too young for the knowing they forced me to carry, but the caring made the man that nobody could bury. I was too young for the weight, but the weight made me free. The rejection of the school years came in layers, not in one. The slow exclusion from the circle, the particular undone feeling of the lunch table that had no room for one more.
that communicated clearly with the closed door of the adults had communicated in a different language years before, which is that the space for you is smaller than the floor you take up when you're being everything you actually are. So shrink or be excluded, so shrink and keep the scar of the shrinking somewhere private where the others cannot see. I chose exclusion over shrinking. I chose the cost of free over the cost of fitting into spaces I could only enter by becoming less than what I was. I walked toward the center of my own particular life, away from every table that required a smaller version than the one I was able to be, with no apology and no performance of the less. I ate alone for years, and I called the alone my best available option in a world that hadn't yet made room for the actual size of what I was. I ate alone in my own bloom. Loneliness in childhood is the original school, where a man learns his own company, where a man learns the rule that the inside voice is real, that the inside world is wide, that the man who knows himself early has nowhere else to hide from the truth, which is a comfort once you stop running from its face. The lonely child who found himself found the only lasting place. I was too young for the weight they gave me, too young for the table that refused to save me, a seat inside the warmth of the acceptable and known. I was too young for the weight they gave me, but I found my own. Tonight I watch a child in a restaurant across the room, sitting with adults who aren't present, who were somewhere in the gloom of their own devices, their own distances, their own private disappearing acts that leave the child alone at the table with his food. And I recognize the posture, the particular way of sitting at the angle of the foster of independence that begins before the child is ready. The learning of the self-sufficient, learning to be steady without the steady ground of adults who are present. And I want to say to him that the lesson isn't pleasant, but it is permanent and it will serve him in the years when the world asks for the man who learned early without tears to find the ground inside himself when the ground outside was moving. The weight was too heavy, was the weight that got him proven everything he was in every year that followed. The child who carries adult weight is the man who swallowed everything that came after with the practiced ease of someone who had been through worse at an age when worse should not have been. Too young for the weight they gave me, but I bore. I watched adults around me breaking ways I didn't name. I was not.
I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet. No crown on my head, no need for the thread. The room already feels it before I make a move. I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet. I choose. Announcement made, no performance of the power, no parade, just the weight of a man who has already decided. I rule in silence. They just don't know it. I provided. Everything they needed me to be before they even knew they needed me. I was already 3 moves deep. I rule in silence, and the silence doesn't sleep. They talk about power like it needs a stage, like a man has to perform it page after page of the loud and the demonstrating and the showing of the hand. I learned from older men who let the silence stand, where the speech would have cost them, where the word would have warned the opponent across the table who had never been informed that the quiet man was always the more dangerous one, who had already finished before anyone had begun to understand the game was already in its final act, that the quiet one had moved and there was no coming back from the position that they'd given while they watched him saying nothing. The quiet one was building while they stood there doing everything you needed them to do, which was underestimate the still. He let them keep the noise, he kept the will. Oh, I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet. Every move already made, no room for regret. No dramatics, no performance, no raising of the voice. I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet. That's my choice. I rule in silence, and the silence is the throne, not the kind you sit on, the kind you carry alone, in the chest, in the posture, in the way the room shifts. I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet, and the knowing is the gift I keep from them. By order of the man who never needed an order, who ran the whole operation from behind every border of the room they thought they owned, while I counted every exit, while I mapped every face, while I quietly assessed it, every strength and every weakness, every debt and every owe, and every move they'd make tomorrow from the pattern that was showing today and yesterday and the year before the meeting. I don't arrive unprepared, I arrive already completing the transaction in my mind before my code hits the chair. They think I just walked in, I've been in the room for years. I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet. No one ruled by announcement ever ruled for long, I bet. The throne belongs to the man who moves when no one's watching. I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet. I'm not stopping. It's the oldest kind of crown, the kind that doesn't fall when the seasons bring it down. Built from patience, built from watching, built from knowing when. I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet, but they will then. I rule in silence. They just don't know it yet, don't know it yet. Oh, no stage, no crown, no name in the alphabet of the celebrated, just the work, just the weight. I rule in silence, and the silence is my state, my state, my state, Lord. Rule in silence. They don't know, not yet, but they will. They will, Lord. Yeah. I walk alone, and I walk complete, not looking for a hand, not looking for the heat of someone walking next to me to prove I'm real. I walk alone and I walk complete. I know how feel. I walk alone, and the alone is full. Not the empty kind, not the missing pull of everything I'm supposed to want but don't require. I walk alone and I walk complete. I walk in my own fire. The first time I walked the long road home, I cried the first 10 minutes, then I didn't, and the bone of something permanent began its quiet formation in the body of the child who found a different foundation than the one the other children stood on. And in the easy warmth of the group that held its members through the South and through the North, of every season without asking for the urn, just for the fit. I didn't fit and I was given the particular gift of having to find the ground within myself before without. The gift of the long road home, the gift of the early doubt that turned to something cleaner than the certainty they had. The boy who walks alone has something that the crowd can't add, which is the compass that was calibrated in the quiet years, not by the agreement of the crowd, but by the actual steers of his own internal navigation through the difficult terrain of being exactly what he was in every cold and rain that the group had shelter from inside each other's company. I was in the weather and the weather taught me every note of the direction home through every kind of storm. I walk alone and I walk certain. I walk alone and I walk warm. Inside the warmth that comes from knowing your own road, from knowing your own compass, from knowing your own load. Walking alone is not the consolation of the unloved. It is the graduation of the man who has discovered that the ground beneath him comes from inside, not outside, and that the direction he is walking, there's no outside guide beside him. Worth the following, worth the trading of the compass for the comfort of the company that would ask him to forget this knowledge of the road that only the solo walker gains. Walking alone is the answer, not the consequence of pains. I walk alone and I walk complete. Every mile beneath me, mine, every cold defeat behind me and below me, and already turned the road. I walk alone and I walk complete. I carry my own load. The loneliness of the adult years was different from the child's, less the cold exclusion, more the particular wild distance of a man who has outgrown the available company around him, not by arrogance, not unable to connect, just by the particular specific speed of his becoming, that the rooms available were not keeping up the running with, not because they were lesser, but because he was heading in a direction that required a specific kind of threading through the crowds without stopping for the comfortable and the known, a specific kind of walking that is only walked alone. And the loneliness was real, and the loneliness was honest, and the loneliness was also the most productive promise of the life that was arriving in the years beyond the turning that required the alone for the particular walks with everything he built. In every year of walking with the compass and the tilt of the road beneath his feet that he knows better than any map could show, because he walked it, and the walking is the many. I walk alone and I walk complete. Every road I ever walked alone has made me meet myself more fully than the crowded road allowed. I walk alone and I walk complete. I walk proud, not with pride of the superior man, but the pride of the man who knows his own road, who built his own plan. Tonight I walk the late street, and the late street knows my name. Not in the sense of famous, but in the sense of sane. Recognition that the regular gives the road, and the man who has walked it long enough to be a part of the plan of the road itself, the furniture of the particular route that belongs to him, the way that a long road belongs to. The man who walks it daily, in the early and the late. I walk this road complete. I walk this road in the state of the man who needs no other ground than what he walks on. And the walking is the having that is only walked alone and alone. And I walk in my own fire. No celebration, already on to the next. No parade, no champagne, no performed success. The moment it was done, I was already in the new. No celebration, already on to the next. That's what I do. No celebration, the work is never done. The horizon keeps on moving with the setting of the sun. And a man who stops to celebrate too long, no celebration, already on to the next. That's my song. That's my particular religion. That's my particular creed. The next move is already moving. No celebration is all I need. They wanted me to raise the glass, to stand inside the winning. I nodded at the room and I was already beginning. The next year, the next chapter, the next version of the plan that had been forming in the background since before the previous one ran. It's final mile and finish. I don't wait for the ending to begin the next beginning. I keep the chapters blending, one into the other with no space between them. No ceremonial pause, no need for anyone to redeem them. With the recognition of what was just completed, I completed it and moved. The celebration was deleted from the version of the process that I run in the private of the mornings and the working of the daily, and the vibrant engine of the man who keeps the engine turning past the finish line of everything into the next one burning. No celebration, no celebration, already on to the next. Every arrival is a departure into something complex, and more demanded and more worth the forward motion. No celebration, already on to the next. The same devotion to the work that brought me here is already applied to the next. No celebration, the work is the religion. No celebration, already on to the next decision. Already made, already set in motion.
motion while the room was still in the pause. No celebration, because I was already 3 rooms past the cause. By order of the man who never slowed for the moment of the completion and the recognition of his own atonement. With the years of the building, with the years of the cost, he just looked at what was finished, and he looked at what was lost. In the time it took to finish, and he added it to the ledger of the next thing on the list, and he moved himself toward the edge of whatever was arriving in the next horizon that he'd set while everyone was celebrating. He was already in the debt for the next thing to be paid for. In the currency of years, he had already committed. He was already here. In the next version of the work, in the next chapter of the plan, no celebration required, just a continuing man. No celebration, no celebration. Already on to the next. The arriving and the leaving are the same thing in the text of a life that never pauses long enough to call it done. No celebration, no celebration. Already on to the next. Always one move ahead of where the room thinks I am. No celebration. I am already in the program of the next year, the next work, the next long road. No celebration. Already on. Already with the load of what comes after this. Already on the shoulder. The man who celebrates too long is the man who's getting colder. No celebration. The work is always warm. No celebration. Already on to the next. Already in the storm. No celebration. No celebration. No celebration. No celebration. No celebration. Already in the storm. No celebration. 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 Already on the next. No celebration. No celebration. No celebration. No celebration. Already on to the next. That's what I do. No celebration. Already on to the next. That's what I do. No celebration. The work is never done. The horizon keeps on moving with the setting of the sun. And a man who stops to celebrate too long. No celebration. Already on to the next. That's my song. That's my particular religion. That's my particular creed. The next move is already moving. No celebration is all I need. They wanted me to raise the glass, to stand inside the window. I nodded at the room and I was already beginning. The next year, the next chapter, the next version of the plan that had been forming in the background since before the previous one ran. No celebration. The work is never done. The horizon keeps on moving with the setting of the sun. And a man who stops to celebrate too long. No celebration. Already on to the next. That's my song. That's my particular religion. That's my particular creed. The next move is already moving. No celebration. Every no made me more of myself.
Every door that shut me out put something else on the shelf. The man I was becoming in the years of being refused. Every no made me more of myself. I was never confused. Every no made me more of myself. Every room that didn't want me gave my own room its wealth. The particular and private, and the real and the mind. Every no made me more of myself, every single time. They said no to the table, they said no to the team. They said no to the version of me that had the dream of belonging to the thing that the others took for granted. I stood outside the circle, I stood where I was planted by the accident of being the wrong shape for the room. And I learned to be the shape that I was, without the gloom of apology attached, without the performance of the wanting. I learned to let the no be just a no, without the haunting of the self-revision that the no was asking me to do if I wanted to be let into the room I'd been kept from too. I chose the shape I was over the shape that fit the door. I chose the outside of the circle, and I learned what it was for, which was the long and honest road that the inside never offers. The inside has the warmth, but the outside has the rafters of the sky above the building that the inside never sees. I stood in the rejection, and I stood in the open freeze of the particular freedom that exclusion accidentally gives to the man who stops pursuing the warmth that only lives in the conditional and managed acceptance of the crowd. I stopped pursuing, and I stood in my own cold and loud. Every no is a direction, not the direction of the wanted, but the direction of the actual, the direction of the haunted, less than the honest, more the direction of the real. Every no said go this way instead. Every no was the deal that the life was offering in the language of the closed. Every no was an instruction for the man who was exposed to enough of them to read the pattern in the shutting. Every no was pointing at the door worth cutting through on his own terms, not the one the circle guarded. Every no was pointing at the road the man started down, and every year the circle didn't want him. Every no was pointing home, and the home was always waiting in the direction the no was pointing toward. Every no made more of me. Every no was the Lord. Every no made me more of myself. Took the borrowed shape and put it back on the shelf of the versions I was trying to become for other rooms. Every no made me more of myself through the glooms. The romantic rejection was the sharpest kind of no, because it came with the specific warmth before the specific cold of the withdrawal that arrived without the warning that you'd earned by every preceding yes that had you thinking you had learned the language of that particular connection and its key. And then the no arrived and cut below the deep of every previous certainty about your own worth, your own legibility, your own particular birth.
right to be desired by another human being, and the no dismantled that and left you there unseen, in the particular way that romantic unseen goes, which is deeper than the table, which is deeper than the closed door of the group or team, because it reaches for the tender parts that every other note taught you to surrender, into the private keeping of the chest beneath the chest, and you opened them regardless, and the note came, and the rest of the year was the rebuilding of the wall they gotten through. The rebuilding was the making of a wall that finally knew its own thickness, and its purpose wasn't keeping warmth outside, was keeping the authentic from the ones who hadn't tried to earn the entering of it, who had only taken what was free. Every romantic no was architecture, every no was a decree that the man who built the wall well would be harder to undo. Every no was preparation for the one who would come through. Rejection is not the verdict on the man who was rejected. It is only the verdict of the room that had expected something other than the actual, something less than the real. Rejection says more about the room than about the man who kneeled before it and then stood again and walked away intact. Rejection is the room's failure, and the man knows that for fact. Every no made me more of myself. Every room that didn't want me gave my own room its wealth of the particular and private, and the real and the mind. Every no made me more of myself, every single time. They said no to the table, they said no to the team, they said no to the version of me that had the dream of belonging to the thing that the others took for granted. I stood outside the circle, I stood where I was planted by the accident of being the wrong shape for the room, and I learned to be the shape that I was without the gloom of apology attached, without the performance of the wanting. I learned to let the no be just a no without the haunting of the self.
They counted me out, I counted every debt, every name, every face, every move I won't forget. I kept the ledger clean in the private of my chest. They counted me out, I counted every debt and settled best. They counted me out, I kept my counsel cold. Every wrong committed against me, bought and sold, back at the price of my choosing in my time. They counted me out, I counted every day, not a dime. Forgiven that wasn't earned, not a single page of the ledger that I hadn't memorized and learned by heart. There is a kind of man who settles old accounts, not with fire, not with fury, not invisible amounts of retaliation that the audience can see, but in the patient long accumulation of the fee charges quietly in the currency of time. Every debt acknowledged, every debt in line for the return that comes, not when the debtor's watching, not when the room expects it, but in the quiet and the crossing of the line they thought was far enough away to rest on. I kept the ledger, and the ledger was the lesson
every closed set of doors that thought themselves the final word on me. They counted me out, I counted every day. And I am free to collect in my own time and at my own appointed hour. They counted me out, I counted every day. And the counting was the power. The power's never in the vengeance, never in the scene. The power was in the knowing what the ledger had between its covers that nobody saw but me, and what I owed to no one in the world, and what was owed along the road by order of the man who watched from the corner while they rode him off and moved on. He was the quiet recorder of everything they said about the limit of his ceiling. He kept it in the ledger with a very particular feeling, not of anger, not of bitterness, but of the precise accounting of the man who knows the interest rate on debts that keep on mounting. While the debtor thinks it's settled, while the debtor sleeps at ease, he knows the compound interest and he waits with practiced peace for the morning when the payment arrives in his own time, by order of the man who kept the count and kept the line. They counted me out, I counted every debt, every face that turned away, every cold forget of everything I'd given when the giving was in play. They counted me out, I counted every debt, and I repay in the currency they understand the least, which is the patient and the permanent, not the loudest and the beast of the moment. They counted me out, I counted every debt, and every debt is noted, every debt I haven't forgotten yet. They counted me out, oh, they counted me out, oh, oh. They counted me out, I counted every debt, Lord, every name, every face, every move I won't forget. The ledger is still open and the interest keeps on climbing. They counted me out, I counted every debt. And the timing is mine, Lord, the timing is mine, Lord, every debt, yeah, counted me out, I counted every debt. Settle, Lord, yeah, settle, Lord, hey, hey, settle, Lord.
I'll play the long game. Patience is my weapon. Every move I make is calculated, not a question of impulse or of anger, or needing it right now. I play the long game. Patience is my weapon, and I know how. I play the long game while you spend yours fast. Every card you burn in a moment built to last. 2 seconds in the room, I've already seen the end. I play the long game. Patience is my weapon. Around the bend, you'll find me standing exactly where I said I'd be. You played the fast game, I played the long one, and the long one always sets me free. They came at me early with the the loud and with the fast, with the pressure and the urgency that never ever lasts. Past the first exchange, past the first real test, past the moment when the noise runs out of all the rest. Of everything it borrowed from the image of the strong, I smiled at the loud ones. I had been patient long before they arrived. I had been counting from the start every move they'd make, from the structure of the art of the patient man who watches before he makes a move, who has already got his answer before they find a groove. A pressure and opposing at the table with the cards. They think they're reading me, I've been reading them for yards. Beyond the room they think we're in, beyond the hand they show. I'm in the room 3 steps ahead, the one they'll never know. I play the long game. Patience is my weapon. Every year they spent in haste, I spent in lesson, of the kind that only the long road teaches well. I play the long game. Patience is my weapon. And the tell is never in my face, never in my hand. I play the long game, and I'm the last man who stands. Not because I fought the hardest, but because I waited for the truest moment of the long game. Patience was the cruelest and the most precise and the most rewarded kind. I play the long game. Patience is my weapon, and my weapon is my mind. By order of the quiet man who sat and watched and waited while the room debated every angle overrated. He already knew the angle, he already knew the move. He'd known it for 3 seasons, he just needed them to prove to themselves that they were ready for the hand he'd play last. He let them build the moment, he let them run it fast, burning all their leverage in the theater of the now, while he held the actual leverage and he waited and he bowed politely to the urgency that thought was in the room. He let them think the deadline was the pressure and the doom that they were building toward. He knew the real deadline was the one only he was holding. He controlled the finish line. I play the long game. Patience is my weapon. Every season that you rushed was every lesson. I compounded in the stillness while you burned. I play the long game. Patience is my weapon. What I earned is not what you can take in any quick move. I play the long game, and I'm deep inside my groove. The one that took years to build, the one that can't be rattled. I play the long game. Patience is my weapon. On every battle, without a single shot